guys, welcome back. My name's Nathan, and today we're going to be discussing every NHL team's best player under age 25, featuring NHL YouTuber OhNyquist. Now, right now in the NHL, we're experiencing a huge boom of elite talents from young guys in their early 20s and even in their late 10s. We've seen so many fantastic players in that range be impact players in the NHL. We also have a bit of help from OhNyquist sharing his thoughts and picks on some of the teams today. But when it comes to both of our picks, who do we see as the best players right now in the NHL and for every team under age 25? Watch till the end to find out. Now, how this will work is that I'll start with the Anaheim Ducks and go to the Nashville Predators and give my picks for every team's best player under the age of 25, basically 24 through 18. And then after the fact, OhNyquist will go for the second part of the NHL, going from the New Jersey Devils onto the Winnipeg Jets and giving his picks on those teams. Now, we're going to waste no time getting into it, and since we're starting in alphabetical order, we're going to start with the Anaheim Ducks. And in my opinion, the Ducks' best player under 25, I have Ondrej Kase. Right winger, age 25, Czech Republic born. He was drafted in the 7th round back in the 2014 draft. Looking like a pretty solid steal right now. When it comes to Kase and his career so far, he's gotten 149 games, 36 goals, 37 assists for 73 points, and Kase wasn't always on my radar. In the past couple of years, though, he has made a name for himself, at least to me. He's been an offensive driver, when healthy, and for Anaheim next season, will likely do good if he's healthy at the very least. Now, going on to the Arizona Coyotes and their best player under 25, I have Clayton Keller. Now, he's a winger, age 21, American-born. He last season had a little bit of a slumpy year, but still points-wise was pretty good. Had 82 games played, a full healthy season, 14 goals, 33 assists for 47 points. Keller is still super young, and to me he was the obvious choice on Arizona, but Arizona has a decent youthful core that is led by great players like Clayton Keller. Now on to the best Bruins player under 25. I have one of my boys, David Pastrnak. Right winger, age 23, another Czech Republic born player. He was drafted 25th overall back in 2014 and last year had a pretty good year. 66 games played, wasn't fully healthy, but when he was healthy, had 38 goals, 43 assists for 81 points. Not too shabby whatsoever. Now I will give some credit to Jake DeBrusk. He deserves that credit, but David Pastrnak was the obvious choice and is one of the best wingers offensively in the NHL. Now going on to the Buffalo Sabres, and in my opinion, the best Sabres player under 25, I have Jack Eichel, their captain. Center, age 22, from North Chelmsford, Massachusetts. Not every day you see that hometown. He was drafted 2nd overall in the McDavid draft, and so far has had a pretty successful career for Buffalo. Last year had a breakout year offensively, 77 games played, 28 goals, 54 assists for 82 points. And when it comes to Jack Eichel as an American, I love seeing him produce better and better as the years go by. When it comes to Buffalo, they have a lot of solid players, but when it comes to Jack Eichel, he is the face of the franchise and the leader going forward. Going on to the Calgary Flames and their best player under 25, because Johnny Gaudreau doesn't qualify for that, I'm going to go with Matthew Tkachuk. Left winger, age 21, from Scottsdale, Arizona. Tkachuk last season had 80 games played, 34 goals, 43 assists for 77 points. Some people might say that Monahan is the way to go there, but to me, Monahan is a decent offensive guy who is quite overrated defensively. Matthew Tkachuk, I think, is better defensively and might even have better offensive impact. And 77 points. He wasn't really playing with Tkachuk too much, at least besides the power play. Now going on to those bunch of jerks, the Carolina Hurricanes, and for my best Canes player under 25, I have Sebastian Aho. He's a center, age 22, from Finland. Aho last season experienced a breakout year offensively. Had 82 games played, 30 goals, 53 assists for 83 points. Now Aho on a team with so much great youth is to me the clear-cut favorite for this pick. And that just shows how good Sebastian Aho really is. He's a dominant player on the ice. He's an excellent play driver. And I think he's better than the points he puts up. I think next year he'd have an even better year, and 90 points wouldn't surprise me. Now moving on to the Chicago Blackhawks, my least favorite team in the NHL, but hey, the player I pick right here is still, freaking awesome, and that player is Alex DeBrincat. Right winger, age 21, American-born, which I always love to see. When it comes to DeBrincat, him last season, he experienced a great year playing with guys like Patrick Kane, Dylan Strome, and just overall being a beast offensively. 82 games played, 41 goals, 35 assists for 76 points. Still at age 21, he's kind of starting to enter his prime in the NHL, as most players do around that age. When it comes to DeBrincat, though, he's one of the future faces of Chicago, and him with Kirby Dach as a first-line pairing will be pretty scary to watch in the next decade. Now going on to the Colorado Avalanche, in my opinion, their best player under 25, let's just say it's a good thing that McKinnon is under 25. At age 24, McKinnon is one of the best players in the NHL. Last season had another terrific year. 82 games played, 41 goals, 58 assists for 99 points. It's still surprising he didn't end up hitting 100, but he's still fantastic either way. When it comes to McKinnon offensively, he has one of the biggest impacts in the NHL, is a super valuable player, and could be in the MVP conversation next season. Now on to the Columbus Blue Jackets and their best player under 25. I have a player from the same draft class as McKinnon, being Seth Jones. Defenseman age 24. He is from Arlington, Texas, which if you guys watch me already, you guys know I'm from Texas. I'm a Dallas Stars fan. Seeing guys like that succeed coming from Texas is always amazing. And Seth Jones to me is the best player under 25 on Columbus. An amazing two-way defenseman, had 46 points in 75 games last year, but beyond the points, he's an impactful defenseman. That's been one of the main reasons why Columbus has been so consistently good over the past few years. Moving on to the Dallas Stars, my favorite team, and going to their best player under 25. It was a little bit of a hard option because they have Klingberg, Sagan, Ben, Radulov, Bishop all over that 25 mark, but Miro Heiskanen is a lone exception, and a very good exception at that. Defenseman age 20, born in Finland. The past season in his rookie year had 82 games played, 12 goals, 21 assists for 33 points. When it comes to Dallas, they don't have the greatest pedigree when it comes to drafting and developing, but Miro Heiskanen, thankfully for us, has been a big changer. On that defense, has great two-way ability, and is one of the better defensemen looking like right now in the future. I kind of feel a little bit ashamed because I have to pick from OhNyquist's favorite team, the Detroit Red Wings, but hey, we're going to stick with it. And for my pick for the best Red Wings player under 25, I have Dylan Larkin. Center, age 23, an American-born stud from Michigan. Larkin had a great season last year, 76 games played, 32 goals, 41 assists for 73 points. When it comes to Larkin, he has been great offensively for a while, but this past season took a big step up. And hopefully for the Detroit Red Wings and their management, they just make him the captain, because right now, he deserves it. And going on to the Edmonton Oilers, I was having a really tough time deciding on their best player under 25 because there's no clear-cut favorite here. I mean, they got some scrub like Connor McDavid, I guess, so I guess we'll work with what we got. He's a center, age 22, a Canadian. McDavid had 78 games played last year, 41 goals, 75 assists for 116 points. You know, I think it's pretty decent. McDavid, though, again, when it comes to Edmonton, when it comes to the NHL, there's no more clear-cut guy as the best player under 25. In my opinion, the best player in the NHL, even though Penguins fans might not like that opinion. I think when it comes to Connor McDavid, yes, Leon Draisaitl is good, but there's no question it is Connor McDavid for Edmonton. Now going on to the Florida Panthers and their best player under 25, I have Alexander Barkov. Now he's a center, age 24, just turned 24, so happy late birthday to Alexander Barkov. When it comes to Barkov, he was born in Finland and had a very solid year last year, especially offensively. Had a full, healthy 82-game season, 35 goals, 61 assists for 96 points. And I think when it comes to Barkov, I think he's good in ways that people might not expect. I think his offense, center-wise, is one of the best in the NHL. But last year, watching him defensively, he wasn't as sound as a guy that had all the hype of being the next Patrice Bergeron, potentially. And I think when it comes to Barkov, he still has elite defensive talent in him, but last year we really didn't see that. Hopefully this next season he can combine both the offense and the defense to just become a tank for the Florida Panthers. And hopefully for Florida too, they end up actually making the playoffs. Advancing on to the LA Kings, and I was joking with the whole Edmonton pick there, trying to be a little bit funny, ha-ha giggles there, but There is nobody on the LA Kings, basically, to pick under 25. All their core being Kopitar, Doughty, Quick, Carter, Toffoli, I guess. Kovalchuk also is in there, I guess. They're all over age 25, and they're all freaking old, too. There's no real great player on LA below age 25. The guy I did pick was Carl Grundstrom, a right winger, age 21, Swedish-born. I think he could be in the Calder contention next season, so that's why I have him in there. He had 5 goals, 1 assist for 6 points in 15 games last year. Again, nothing exactly proven, but for LA and their standards, he is my pick. Now going on to the Minnesota Wild and their best player under 25, it's better than LA, but not by this crazy margin by any means. But I will pick Kevin Fiala as my guy. Left winger, age 23, from St. Gallen, Switzerland. When it comes to Fiala last season with Nashville and Minnesota, played 83 games, no that's not a typo, had 13 goals, 26 assists for 39 points. And Fiala is a solid point contributor, had a little bit of an off year this past season, was traded in that Mikael Granlund trade, which exploded and confused everybody, including me. But when it comes to Fiala, he's a creativity guy, has solid offense, and again, is still pretty young at age 23. Going on to the Montreal Canadiens, these guys right here, and their best player under 25, I have Max Domi. He's a left winger, age 24. He was drafted in the first round by the Arizona Coyotes back in 2013. When it came to Domi, he had a breakout year this past season in his first year of Montreal. 82 games, a full healthy season, 28 goals, 44 assists for 72 points. And just a way better season than he had in Arizona. Massively improved in Montreal. His defense is nothing special, but as a winger, he doesn't exactly need to be that. His offense was super valuable for Montreal, and was one of the main reasons why they were so good, even though they missed the playoffs last year. Now, sadly, going into my last pick for today's video, going to the Nashville Predators, for my best Preds player under 25, I have UC Saros. Goaltender, age 24, Finnish-born goalie. When it comes to Saros, he played 31 games last year, got a 2.62 goals against average, and a .915 save percentage. When it comes to Saros, he is the goalie of the future, kind of being the apprentice, I would say, to Pekka Rinne. Although Pekka Rinne is still a great goaltender in the NHL, UC Saros is starting to get more time too. When it comes to Nashville, he's still super young at age 24, and right now is their goalie of the future.
Starting off my part of the video with the New Jersey Devils, and my pick for their best player under 25 is Nico Hischier. 20 years old, was the first overall pick in the 2017 NHL Draft. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people think this should be Jack Hughes already, but for me at least, I have to see Hughes play a full NHL season before I can say he is better than Nico Hischier. I'm a big fan of Nico. A lot of that is because he came up through the Halifax Mooseheads organization in junior, but he's been really solid over his first 2 NHL seasons. Moving along now to the New York Islanders, a very easy pick here. It's got to be Matt Barzal, a 22-year-old centerman, was the 16th overall pick in the 2015 NHL Draft, and he has been super solid over his first 2 NHL seasons for the Islanders, and obviously now he is the face of the franchise after the departure of John Tavares, and I think he did really well in that role this past season. Obviously New York was a very good team. His point total did drop off a little bit from his rookie season, but I'm pretty sure everybody expected that to happen, and I'm pretty confident that he can get that back up to around 80 points next year. Next up we have the New York Rangers, and my pick is Pavel Buchnevich. Now this is another one, a lot of people will probably say Capo Caco, but again, I have to see him play a full NHL season before I can say he is better than really anyone at the NHL level, and I'm a big fan of Buchnevich. He's 24 years old, and I think he has all the potential in the world to be a very good power forward at the NHL level. He had a career-high 21 goals in 64 games this past season. I'm pretty confident that he's going to crack 30 next year, and definitely be an underrated piece to this New York team. Moving along now to the Ottawa Senators, and my pick is Thomas Chabot. Did definitely give some consideration to Brady Tkachuk, but deciding between the two, I just thought about who would I take if I was starting a franchise right now, and I could only take one of those guys, and I think I definitely would go with Thomas Chabot. 55 points in 70 games this past year as a defenseman for the Ottawa Senators. Had a fantastic year. I definitely think he's going to be a Norris caliber defenseman, but hopefully Ottawa can put some pieces around Chabot and Brady Tkachuk to make a, competitive team. Moving along now to the Philadelphia Philadelphia Flyers, this one was honestly probably the toughest one to decide. I ended up going with Ivan Provorov because, in my opinion, in his sophomore year, he was one of the best defensemen in the entire NHL. Yes, he definitely did have a significant drop-off this past season, but I'm pretty confident that he can bounce back and be a beast again next year. I did give some consideration to guys like Travis Konechny, who's been solid, Nolan Patrick, and definitely Carter Hart, but what kind of steered me away from Carter Hart is he just hasn't played a full NHL season just yet, so that is my reasoning that I went with Ivan Provorov. Next up, for the Pittsburgh Penguins, an easy pick here. It's got to be Jake Guentzel, 24 years old and just cracked 40 goals this past season. I was super impressed by that. I didn't think he had it in him. I knew he could probably score 30, but 40 goals, that was definitely a super impressive year for Jake Guentzel. There is some other options on this team. You know, Marcus Pettersson has been really solid for them since coming over from Anaheim, but I think the far and away pick has to be Jake Guentzel, especially after last year. Next up, we have the San Jose Sharks, and my pick is Timo Meier, another guy I'm a big fan of because I watched him play through junior with the Halifax Mooseheads. He just had a breakout season, 30 plus goals, 60 plus points, and in my opinion, Meier has all the tools to be like a 40 goal scorer and one of the game's elite scorers. And also, he's going to have to take on a bigger role in this up and coming season after the departures of guys like Joe Pavelski, Gustav Nyquist, and Jonas Donskoy. I'm really excited to see how Timo Meier plays in a bigger role next year. Next up, we have the defending Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues, and my pick is 22-year-old defenseman Vince Dunn. Now, in my opinion, Vince Dunn is a little bit underrated because he plays behind Colton Parayko and Alex Pietrangelo, but he's definitely an important piece to that team, and he's still very young and only going to continue to get better. I did give some consideration to Robert Thomas, but in my opinion, Vince Dunn is definitely a more important piece to that team than Robert Thomas was, especially this past year. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning. No surprise here, it's got to be Braden Point, who really emerged as a superstar caliber player in the NHL this past season. 90 plus points, 40 plus goals, an electrifying player, super fun to watch. Obviously, he is currently still an RFA. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, but he is definitely their best player under 25 years old. Moving on now to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I actually went with Austin Matthews, but this one was really tough. I was going back and forth on Marner and Matthews, but in the end, I decided to give Matthews the edge just because he's been injured and we haven't really saw what he's fully capable of if he stays healthy for a full season. Besides his rookie year, where he was fantastic, but the other 2 years where he was injured, he was over a point per game, and I definitely think Matthews, if healthy next year, can be like a 50-goal scorer and a 100-point guy. I think Marner can probably be a 100-point guy as well, but like I said, it's very close, and I just slightly gave the edge to Matthews. Moving on now to the Vancouver Canucks, and my pick is the Calder Trophy winner from this past season, Elias Pettersson. An amazing rookie season for Pettersson. I wish he didn't get hurt because he definitely would have cracked 30 goals and been a 70-point scorer, but nonetheless, still an amazing rookie year for him. And in my opinion, even though there is a lot of good youthful players on this Vancouver team, I think Pettersson has to be the best that's under 25 years old. Moving on to the Vegas Golden Knights, and my pick is Alex Tuch. He's 23 years old, and he just had a breakout season, 50 plus points, and for the most part of the year before acquiring Mark Stone, he was the leading scorer on the Vegas Golden Knights. And obviously when Stone came in, he took over as, the best offensive player on that team, but Alex Tuch was having a fantastic year and did finish with a very solid point total, even though he's probably going to be stuck on the third line this past season because that top six is just so good and going to be really tough to break into. I still think Tuch can be like a 50-point guy. Next up, we have the Washington Capitals, and my pick is Jacob Vrana. Not too many options on this team because there is a lot of veterans, but Jacob Vrana, under 25 years old, and definitely just had a really solid year. 20 goal scorer, 40 plus points, and he definitely has the skill to be a consistent 20 goal scorer in the NHL, and especially after this past season where it was kind of a breakout year for him, I definitely think he is their best player under 25 years old. And now, finishing out the video with a little bit of controversy, I actually went with Kyle Connor over Patrik Laine. If I had to pick between the two if I'm starting a franchise, I would actually go with Kyle Connor. I think he's definitely the better overall player. And yes, Patrik Laine has the capability to be a 50 goal scorer. His overall game and definitely his two-way ability definitely needs some work, and obviously he had a little bit of a down year this past season. And I'm not hating on Laine whatsoever. I'm one of the people that actually defend Laine a lot because I still think he is very good, but I'm just a big fan of Kyle Connor. I love his game, and I actually went with him over Patrik Laine as their best player under 25. So big thanks to Grav for having me on the channel to collaborate on this video. We've both been doing this series for a while, so it definitely made sense that we collaborated on one together. Make sure to subscribe to Grav's channel if you have not already. You can also check out my channel, OhNyquist. I make hockey videos every single day, and thank you guys so much for watching, and now I'll hand it over back to Grav.
And there you have it. You have mine and OhNyquist picks of the best player under 25 for the Anaheim Ducks onto the Winnipeg Jets. Again, serious thank you for OhNyquist for coming on the channel, bringing people along. It definitely is super, super awesome and enhances the videos too. He's a big part of the hockey YouTube community, and having him on the channel is the least I could do. But of course, with this video, I need to hear your guys' thoughts down those comments down below. So let me know, what do you think about today's video? What do you think about OhNyquist picks? What do you think about my picks? And just with the picks overall, what do you agree and disagree with? And the question on to you, who do you think are the best players in the NHL right now under age 25? But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you should click on this card right here to watch my video on every NHL team's next breakout player. Watch it. Trust me, it's a pretty good one. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on today's video, mine and OhNyquist picks, what you agree and disagree with. Of course, make sure you're going to subscribe to OhNyquist. I heavily recommend it too. Share this video with friends also for the epic Grav x OhNyquist collab. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.